Hello and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Good Evening KU. I'm Sky Conley.
And I'm Jordan Watkins.
So to start out today's show, if you haven't noticed, the weather's been kind of interesting, not just around here in Lawrence, but also across the state.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about how there hasn't been any severe weather yet like was expected, and it sounds like starting today for us and for kind of the last week for the rest of the state that has finally started happening. I think we have some pictures of what's been going on. Yeah, so these pictures are from Wichita, where they've started to experience bad weather before us. We've got some trees down.
Oh my God.
Trees all the way down. What else do we have?
That's insane.
So yeah, and that's a big, I don't even know how that happens. I've never seen a tree come out like that, but you always see those pictures, you know, that other people turn into news stations. That's where we had gotten those from.
And where was this, Wichita?
Yeah, these pictures were from Wichita. We do know that there might be some severe weather tonight in Lawrence that was supposed to start around 3, and I haven't noticed anything, at least on campus yet, but it's expected it could be going on until midnight. So we do have some tips, I think, on how to stay safe. One of those things is to have a
safety kit.
Is that what we're calling it, a safety kit?
Safety kit. In this picture, you can see we have bandages, we have batteries. What else? We have flashlights, duct tape.
A radio in there would be a good thing to have. You can hear the weather when you're down there, know what's going on, and maybe let you know if your house is toppled on top of you or not.
Oh my God, that'd be the worst. What else would you suggest that could go into that? Like water would probably be a good thing.
Yeah, I would say to have food, because you don't know how long you might be down there.
Exactly.
Non-perishable foods, things you can keep down there. You know, that way you've got it ready and it's there. That way, you know, if there's a storm coming, you don't have to go get a bunch of things.
Right.
It's there, it's ready to go. Maybe some crackers.
Maybe a rosary or any other religious item. Because I cannot stand spring, because it's just, I'm on edge, because it's just like, oh, are we gonna have an outbreak today? Are we gonna have it tomorrow? Through the months of May through June, I'm shaking and crying on the inside, especially today. Because back where I live in Southeast Kansas, they might experience some things. I have a lot of family in Wichita, so I'm kind of nervous about that. But on a lighter note, this popular social media app Snapchat just had an interesting new update added to it.
Very interesting. So I guess there's emojis that show up next to all of your friends now that talk about what your Snapchat relationship is with this person. We've got up on the screen what they mean when you see them on your phone.
So the first one, you have the yellow heart. You're each other's number one best friend. So if you're in a relationship with someone, you better have that heart, or that's probably not a good sign.
I think this is going to cause some problems for people.
It could.
I really do, because if I'm somebody's best friend, you know, and they're not mine or vice versa,
right.
You know, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to say, you need to Snapchat me more. Who is your best friend, since I'm not? Yeah.
I think I have multiple best friends, and multiple oh, I'm your number one, but you're not my number one, and vice versa, and all that stuff. But I mean, it's just Snapchat. If you let something like that run your life.
Well, the best friends used to be public, remember?
Yeah.
You could see who other people's best friends were, and they took that away. I was assuming because it was causing drama, but I guess I was wrong, because now they've brought something similar back.
That's true. I remember the golden days when you could actually look up anyone's best friends online. I would literally spend an hour doing that. I'm not even kidding. No shame about that. I'm a nosy person.
That?
You could do that.
Really?
You could just go to snapchat.com, put in someone's name, and then you'd have their 3 best friends, and then you could click on that name and just go through until you reached a dead end or something.
Wow.
So
that's awesome. On a little bit of a more serious note, it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and when we come back, we're going to have a representative from the GaDuGi Safe Center to talk to us about what that means and what's going on campus and around Lawrence. We'll be right back.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Rachel Gadd-Nelson with the GaDuGi Safe Center here in Lawrence to talk about Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So the events kind of the last school year have maybe brought this issue to more people's attention, and people are starting to realize that it's a bigger deal and these things are happening more than maybe we like to talk about. Can you touch on a little bit what the issues are, how much of an issue it is, and what this month means?
Yeah, well, it's absolutely really important, and honestly, that's why Sexual Assault Awareness Month came at a really perfect time, I think, at least for here at KU. And the National Sexual Assault Awareness Month theme is campus sexual assault, just because there's been such a focus on this. And so it's not only been a focus on the issue, but also recognizing how schools are responding to it, which I think is really important. Recognizing that not only do we need to talk about prevention, supporting survivors, but then there's also the role of the university and what that plays. So I think it couldn't have happened at a better time here at KU with everything that's been going on.
Do you think that schools are starting to do a better job of how they're responding to these situations? Or is it kind of a deal where we need to focus a lot more on getting schools to react better?
Well, I think that there's still a lot of work to be done. That doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't strides that are happening.
Sure.
You know, a really good example here at KU is the I think all of the student and faculty and staff organizing that took place around sexual assault issues has been really wonderful. At GaDuGi, we're not a campus organization, we're a community organization, but we've been really involved with that, and seeing our community respond has been really wonderful, because I think most of the time we're trying to get people to talk about sexual assault, and then when this happened on campus, finally it seemed like a lot of people were really ready.
Definitely.
It's something that we need to keep having a conversation on. I think it's really easy. It's a difficult topic, so it's really easy to get burnt out on it,
Sure.
and to think about, okay, well, let's move on. I'm tired of talking about it, but it's going to be a work in progress. I think the fact that this has been happening on a national scale shows that this is not something that's just going to go away pretty soon. Hopefully, it'll really keep going and moving forward.
Definitely. So you guys have some things planned, quite a few things planned for the month. Can you touch on what some of the highlights are?
Yeah.
People can get involved.
Absolutely. So Sexual Assault Awareness Month, there's a lot going on campus and in the community. So GaDuGi Safe Center, we're the Sexual Assault Support Center, and so we're trying to find a balance of educational events as well as support for survivors. So actually tonight at 7 p.m. at the library, at the Lawrence Public Library, we're hosting a survivor self-care workshop. We want to make sure that there's this community of care around survivors. And then there's a lot of educational events. We're doing an educational event on the 14th at the Lawrence Public Library. It's a workshop on consent and recognizing what does it actually look like to ask for consent? How do we define consent for ourselves? That's so important for us to understand before we can even start talking about sexual assault. There's a lot of really great guest speakers that are coming to campus. David Lezak will be here next week. He's a researcher and a psychologist who writes and does a lot of research around sexual assaults, particularly with campuses. The Hunting Ground is a new documentary around the issue of campus sexual assault. There's going to be a screening on that in the last week of April. And then GaDuGi Safe Center is hosting an event on the last day, April 30th, called Take Back the Night. Take Back the Night is a national event and something that we're doing locally here. It'll be a community rally. So there'll be a march from campus, Kansas Union, all the way to South Park, down the hill on 12th Street. And then there'll be a rally where community speakers will talk about their experiences. We'll talk about the issue of sexual assault, how it relates to other issues, and there will be a vigil and a speak out circle at the same time. So.
Okay, so that's quite a few things.
Yeah.
Is there a place online where people can see those things?
Absolutely. So for a full list of everything that's going on campus, you can go to the Emily Taylor Center website. They're hosting basically just a list of everything that could possibly be happening on campus this month, and our website as well, which is GaDuGiSafeCenter.org, GaDuGi safecenter.org.
Okay, where does that name come from? Just because I'm curious.
Yeah, good
GaDuGi, I've
question.
always wondered.
Yeah, so we were the first rape crisis center in 1972, and we're known for a number of years as Rape Victim Support Services. And then in 2004, we changed our name to GaDuGi. It's a Cherokee word that means working together in the community, and it's something that we changed our name to through a collaboration with Haskell Indian Nations University.
Oh, well, awesome. Before I let you go, is there anything that you would want to add?
Well, I just want to let people know about our services a little bit more. So we're the Sexual Assault Support Center. We have a 24-hour hotline. Our number is 785-843-8985. We have free therapy, free support groups. We meet people at the hospital and do education and prevention work out in the community. So if anyone needs anything, I hope they'll give us a call.
Okay, well, awesome. Rachel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Bella Without Borders. I'm with Elayna Svigos, a Greek Orthodox student here at KU. Today we will be discussing the fall of Constantinople and the rise of Istanbul. First, let's rewind in time and learn the basics.
The most important walls in Western history aren't even in the West. They surround the modern city of Istanbul, Constantinople as the Romans called it, and for 1,000 years, the fate of Europe depended on them. Constantinople was designed to be the center of the world. When the frontiers of the Roman Empire began to crumble in the 4th century, the capital was moved to the cultured, wealthy, and still stable East. There, at the crossroads between Europe and Asia, the hub of the major trade routes of the ancient world, the Emperor Constantine built his city.
First, Elayna, if you can discuss to the audience and myself the differences between Catholicism and Greek Orthodox.
Yeah, so basically, when the Catholicism and Orthodox religions, when they both separated, branched off from each other, Orthodox stayed true. They never changed anything with their practice. So our church services, instead of 1 hour, it's 2 hours. Instead of, for Easter when you go to church, it's 4 hours long instead of, 2 hours or an hour. But yeah, that's the major difference. And also, we don't believe in the Pope, so a key difference. Yeah.
So is that a direct result or effect of go back in time a little bit, the difference between the Crusades and the and Constantine?
I think back at that time, because the Greeks were very sophisticated and saw themselves as superiors, people were kind of envious, and so Constantinople was one of the wealthiest cities at that time. And so people wanted to take over, like the Ottomans. So, yeah, during the Fourth Crusade, that is really when the fall of Constantinople happened. And since the Crusaders were, down on the military assistance and needed financial aid, they went to the Ottomans and asked, for them to help out. So that's when they went in and attacked.
Right. So you kind of mentioned it briefly, but the difference between how the Greeks view themselves, or how they did, compared to the Roman Catholic Church, or so-called the Westerners. How was that?
Yeah, they thought as the Westerners as barbaric people, and again, the Greeks thought of themselves as superiors, so they were just thought they were elite, I guess, in European.
So, and lastly, can you describe the, culture or legacy of Constantinople?
Yeah.
Traditions that, happened then, and maybe compare it to, your lifestyle, or, how that is.
Well, seen as today, it's kind of just a sad thing that happened back then. It was just a really religious community at that time, and still is today, because now it's Istanbul, for the, different religions. It's Muslim, and yeah. So, but yeah, Saint Constantine is one of our major saints that we kind of, inspired to be like, because he was the one that went in there and tried to protect Constantinople, but they were too strong, the Ottomans, so they took over.
So it got to a time where the Ottoman Empire was powerful enough that they conquered the city in 1453 and transformed it into an Islamic stronghold. This is present-day Istanbul. So Hagia Sophia is an example of the city's religious transformations. It was built originally as a Greek Orthodox basilica, then later as an imperial mosque, and now a museum in Istanbul, Turkey. Let's take a look at what Istanbul looks like today. Istanbul is an ever-evolving city, but still maintains its beauty and culture. Thank you, Elayna, for helping uncover the fall of Constantinople and the rise of Istanbul. That will wrap up Bella Without Borders. Thank you for watching.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back. I'm Rosie Pike, and this is your Good Evening KU News Update. Republican Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky announced yesterday that he'll be running for president in the upcoming 2016 presidential election. Paul was elected into the Senate in 2010 and is known for his libertarian views. Rand Paul is the son of previous presidential candidate Ron Paul, who campaigned for the Republican Party in 2012. A small plane crashed early yesterday morning, killing all 7 passengers aboard. According to NBCnews.com, the plane was a twin-engine Cessna returning from the NCAA basketball championship in Indianapolis. Authorities believe heavy fog was a factor in the crash and are still investigating. Kansas is now the first state in the country that's put a ban on second-term abortion procedures. According to FoxNews.com, Republican Governor Sam Brownback signed this law yesterday morning. This new law will take effect in July. And the Yukon Huskies cut the nets in Tampa after beating the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 63-53 in the 2015 NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis led the Huskies in scoring 15 points, while Brianna Turner scored 14 for the Irish in the losing effort. This is Yukon coach Gino Auriemma's 10th national title. The Kansas City Royals are looking to ride momentum from their opening tonight in their second game against the Chicago White Sox. The Royals beat the White Sox on opening day Monday 10-1. Danny Duffy is taking the mound for Kansas City, and Jose Quintana will get the start for Chicago. And over in Overland Ballpark, Kansas are leading with 10. And that will wrap it up for today's update. And after the break, Paige's points are up.
Welcome back, I'm Paige Admany, and this is another edition of Paige's Points. Hungry for pizza? Today I'll tell you where to find some of the best on Massachusetts Street. When you arrive on 10th and Mass Street, usually the first restaurant you see is Papakino's Pizzeria. Named Best of Lawrence in 2014, Papakino's is a popular favorite for many students. Its distinct chalk wall menu offers 34 unique toppings and 20 specialty pizzas, including gluten-free options. And we had the opportunity to see the 26-inch pizza dubbed the Papa Pie being made. This monster pizza takes only 10 minutes to bake for a total of 15 minutes cooking time and can feed up to 10 of your closest friends. Opening in 1991, Papakino's has been serving locals and students alike. It has been a hotspot for college students to order its signature called the Slice as Big as Your Face. And the shop also offers specials and discounts if you're on a budget. Even better, Papakino's now delivers for the days you can't make it downtown. Let's take a look as this pizza is finished up and ready to bake. Next up on our tour de Mass Street is Limestone Pizza Kitchen and Bar. Opened since April of last year, it's the newest addition to downtown pizza stops. The kitchen offers Neapolitan-style pizza baked in limestone wood-fired ovens, 100 craft beers, and fresh local ingredients. And if you're in a rush, Limestone offers carry-out. Last up on our list is Pyramid Pizza. This shop is opened the latest and offers a selection of appetizers, sandwiches, and specialty pizzas for any late-night cravings. One of its more unique options is its honey-dipped crust. That's all for today. Special thanks to Bella Congemi for this week's production on Paige's Points. I'm Paige Admany, and you can catch Good Morning KU tomorrow at 10. Thanks for watching.